Sunday mornings are my reset button. Coffee, quiet music, a list on a sticky note. I was buttering toast when my front door clicked and swung open. Mom stepped in like a landlord on inspection day. "Hi, Lena, we need to talk." That ordinary moment shattered. I put the knife down. My heart kicked hard. "I'm Lena. I'm 32. I design user experiences for a living. For 7 years, I've rented this two-bedroom that my parents own. It started right after grad school. They live across town in a big house. The apartment sat empty. Mom said, use it, but pay us $900 a month. It'll teach responsibility. I shrugged and said yes. $900 was cheaper than anything within a decent commute. I transferred it on the first of every month, never late, not once. I made this place my home. New sofa, bookshelves I assembled at 2 a.m., a mid-range fridge that doesn't freeze lettuce, curtains that soften the light. I paid for paint, a better shower head, even a small split AC unit for the home office nook. Every purchase I texted photos to Mom. Matches the flooring. She sent a thumbs up emoji. It felt like permission I shouldn't need, but I wanted no arguments. I kept receipts in a folder labeled someday. Someday meant a down payment. While friends posted vacations, I automated savings. I packed my lunch. I learned to fix a leaky faucet from YouTube. I said no to silly splurges. I looked at the spreadsheet at night and felt proud. Slow steps, solid ground. There's always a shadow in my stories. Mine is Noel. He's my younger brother, 29. Charming, restless. He keeps announcing projects, crypto 1 month, a collectibles shop the next. Nothing sticks past a season. Our parents call it finding himself. They cover his car insurance, his phone, his gas. He lives in their guest room. 2 years ago, he married Tasha, a lifestyle blogger with ring lights in every doorway. She films her coffee, her clothes, her Sunday reset. She's not mean. She's loud. Everything is content. She calls my parents mom and dad after the third dinner. They melt. The house becomes a set. We eat cold meals because they must be filmed hot. The first time I understood the new rules, I reached for a cinnamon roll on the counter. It was a normal family brunch. I was starving. Tasha darted in and slapped my wrist, not hard, but sharp. "Not yet, I need the steam shot." I froze with my fingers sugared. Mom laughed in that bright way she uses to cover tension. Dad made a joke. Noelle looked at Tasha like she'd invented bread. We waited while she filmed 6 angles of a pastry. I chewed air and swallowed it. It's a small thing, but small things stack. At dinners after that, I learned to ask, can I pour water before touching anything? I learned to hold poses for photos I didn't want online. I learned that my job updates cleared rooms while Noel's plans got applause. When I spoke, Mom smiled and said, "You're the stable one. He needs more support." It landed like a compliment and a cage. Back to my front door. Mom scanned my living room. Her eyes paused on the velvet chair I found secondhand and reupholstered myself. "You've done so much with our apartment," she said. There it was again. Our, not yours. "Coffee?" I asked. My voice felt thin. "No." She sat on my sofa. The same sofa I paid for. She folded her hands like a principal. "Tasha's pregnant." "I know, you told me last week." There had been confetti, a vlog, and a cake that said collab of a lifetime. I had hugged them both and meant it. A baby is a baby. New life deserves hope. Mom breathed in. "Then you know things are different now. Babies are expensive. Doctor visits, vitamins, a bigger stroller. They'll need to rest. Noelle can't stress." I waited. "Starting next month, your rent will be $2,700. My brain glitched. The number hung in the air like a typo. "You're tripling it." "Inflation," she said, "and family. Mom, average rent around here is lower. This isn't just rent. This is helping your brother while they get on their feet. You're the only one who can." My chest went hot. "Because I work, because I show up. Because you're strong," she said, softening her voice. "You always manage." That line. It was praise tied to a leash. It dragged me through my teens and into my 30s. It excused everything they poured on my back. I stared at the little plant on my coffee table and counted leaves so I wouldn't cry. "What if I say no?" I asked. "Then you can move out," she said. Like she was offering me a brand of cereal. "We'll rent to someone who appreciates the location and will pay market plus furnishing." Furnishing. I blinked. "What furnishing?" I waved at the room. "This is mine." She looked toward the ceiling. "The apartment will be rented furnished." With my furniture, I felt my voice steady. "No." She rose. "Lena, don't be difficult. Noelle can't handle stress right now. Tasha needs calm. The baby needs stability. We'll handle the details. You'll be a good daughter." There it was, not a request, a script. I saw 7 years in one sweep. Transfers labeled rent, couches carried upstairs with a friend on a rainy day, a night I spent on the floor because paint needed to dry. Mom's keys turning in my lock whenever she wanted to drop by. The word "our" circling like a drone. Something in me clicked. Not a snap, not rage, a quiet latch sliding into place. No, I said, just that, no. Mom's mouth tightened. You'll regret this tone. We'll talk later when you're reasonable. She left, letting the door close with that soft, passive-aggressive hush. Silence filled the room she had called hers. I stood very still. The coffee had gone cold. The sticky note on the counter said laundry, plants, walk. I picked it up and wrote one more line. Exit! I opened my laptop. The browser remembered the housing site I used when friends looked for places. I typed my budget. I slid the map closer to the train. My fingers shook, but my mind didn't. If they wanted a tenant, they could have one. Somewhere else. If they wanted my things, they could fight a receipt box. Listings loaded, photos in soft filters, kitchens with quartz and false promises. I filtered for light, for distance to work, for units that allowed plants and peace. I thought of Noelle's baby and felt the tug. The old narrative tried to hook me, be the bridge, be the cushion, be the one who doesn't break. But bridges collapse when a whole town insists on parking on them. My phone buzzed. A message from Noelle lit the screen without a hello. Heard you gave Mom attitude. We're counting on you. Don't be selfish. There was a blurry ultrasound attached. I placed the phone face down, not because I don't care, because I do. Caring had been weaponized in my family so long it had rust on it. I texted Callie, my anchor friend, the kind who shows up with soup and a trunk full of boxes. Hypothetically, if someone needed to move within 2 weeks, could we make that happen? She called instantly. Who hurt you and where do I park? I laughed a short, shocked sound. Then I told her the number. She swore like a sailor on fire. Okay, you're not staying there. I've got a hand truck. Also, you're not leaving your chair or your dignity. My lungs finally expanded. I started a new list. Utilities. Change of address. Ask HR about a personal day. Rent a truck. Photograph every item I bought. Tape the receipts to the boxes. Lock my door. Change the code. I walked to my bedroom and opened the closet. I set an empty suitcase on the bed. There's a moment when a decision becomes a plan. You can feel the floor tilt toward action. I'm not a dramatic person. I plan, I document, I do the thing I said I'd do. That's how I got here. That's how I'll get out. Before I zipped the suitcase, I paused at the window. The city looked the same. People walked dogs, a bus sighed, a neighbor shook out a rug. The sky didn't care, but something in me shifted. I wasn't their safety net anymore. By dusk, I had 3 viewings lined up. One looked perfect in photos. Sunlight across a small dining nook. A landlord named Ruth who used full sentences and commas, a lease under my name, not under family rules. I put the sticky note on the fridge, exit circled twice. And in case you're wondering how far I went, yes, I moved. I left a note. I left one old thing. I took everything I paid for. But that part comes later. Next, I'll tell you how Mom used her key again, what she tried to claim, and why a dusty folder on my top shelf turned out to be my sharpest tool. 2 days after the number, Mom used her key again. The lock turned. The door swung open. Sunlight hit her measuring tape. Tasha trailed behind, phone up, already filming. Walk through day, Tasha chirped to the camera. We're planning a cozy, baby-safe refresh. I stepped between them and my sofa. Pause. Why are you here? Mom clicked the tape shut. I'm documenting what stays. Nothing stays that I bought, I said. My voice was steady. Text before entering. From now on. Tasha tilted her phone, catching my profile. Could you say that again, but smile? I took her phone and placed it on the console table. No filming in my home. Mom's mouth pinched. It's our apartment. It's my property inside. I pointed to the frame on the hallway wall. A small square lens blinked. Also the camera's on. Date stamped. She glanced up. The measuring tape went back into her tote. She took Tasha's elbow. We'll discuss this later. After they left, I opened a toolkit and installed a chain latch. A small thing. Enough to stop keys from becoming ghosts. Callie arrived with bins and snacks. She doesn't knock. She sings my ringtone outside the door. Operation Exit, she announced. Codename, You're Not Furniture. I laughed for real. We labeled boxes. We made piles. Receipts went into a fat manila folder I had named Someday. My handwriting from years ago stared back. Couch $649, fridge $1.99, rug on $29, AC unit $7.99. Photographs of each item slid into a shared album. You're building a paper wall, Callie said. Good. I'm building a boundary, I said. It looks like a wall from the outside. At work the next morning, I asked for a personal day. My manager, Jonas, didn't pry. Take 2. You never take time. At lunch, I sat with Mira from compliance. She is the human version of a rulebook with a kind smile. Validate her energy, whether she knows it or not. Hypothetical, I said, stirring soup. If parents collect rent without a lease, what does that mean? She blinked. Hypothetically, it means they carry risk, not you. If there's no furnished lease, furniture ownership follows payment records. Keep your bank transfers. Photograph everything. Communicate in writing. Communicate what? Boundaries. Notice of move. Inventory. Don't fight on the phone. Say it once in an email. I wrote the email that night. Short, clear. Starting next month, I will not be renewing. I will remove all items I purchased. See attached list with receipts. Please do not enter without notice. Any claims about furniture will be denied. All items were bought by me. Though, I attached a PDF of the someday folder. I added screenshots of texts where mom had approved purchases. Her words circled in yellow, make sure it matches. Love the sofa, good choice. Get the better fridge, simple lines, powerful now. The reply came fast. You're being dramatic. If you take our things, we'll have to replace them. That's on you. Also, the new rent starts next month. Don't be late. I didn't answer. Mira was right. Right once, then stop. I toured 3 places over 2 days. The first smelled like onions and regret. The second was fine. The third felt like a fresh page. South-facing windows, a tidy kitchenette, a small tree outside the bedroom that looked like it knew seasons. Ruth, the landlord, met me in clean sneakers and a calm voice. I like straightforward tenants, she said. You read, you sign, you pay on time. We nodded at each other in the hall. I'm a gold medal nodder, I said. She smiled. It felt like consent to breathe. I laid the deposit down with steady hands. On my way home, Mrs. Ortiz from 2B waved me over in the lobby. She is the building's unofficial census. She knows everything by knowing everyone. Your mama came by yesterday, she said, lowering her voice. She showed a man your place. She told him, fully furnished, move-in ready. He asked about the sofa. She tapped it like a drum and said, stays. Heat rose to my face. Thank you for telling me. She also said you're very busy and won't be here long. Mrs. Ortiz squeezed my arm. Mija, lock your door. I did, I said. I didn't say I installed a chain. I didn't say I bought a peephole camera because trust had become a rumor. That night, Noel texted a string of baby emoji and 1 sentence. We picked a name. I hovered over the thread and put the phone face down. A second buzz. Tasha Brand wants nursery content ASAP. Can we film in your apartment for better light? It's for the baby. My thumbs typed before my empathy could be used against me. No. A pause, then cold. Remember whose family? I remembered. I remembered waiting to eat a cinnamon roll until the camera got steam. I remembered joke after joke about being the reliable one, like reliability meant I didn't have feelings. Dad called. I let it ring out, then listened to his voicemail. His voice was soft the way it gets when he wants me to do something. Pumpkin? Your mom's stressed. Your brother's trying. Can we meet? We'll figure out a number that works for everyone. A number, not a relationship. I deleted the message and typed my moving checklist instead. Truck Wednesday 9 a.m. Callie plus Wesley to lift the heavy things. Take photos of empty rooms. Leave keys on the nail. Utilities. Cancel Friday note on table. I kept the old wooden table in a corner, the only original piece when I moved in. Its surface was scarred with little stories I didn't know. It would stay. It felt poetic and petty in equal measure. Tuesday night, I boxed my books. The apartment became a maze of taped cardboard. It looked like what it was, the end of a chapter. I drank water and turned off the living room lamp. The room paled to gray. The camera light at the door glowed a cautious green. At 7:12 a.m., metal scraped metal. The main lock turned. The chain caught. The door opened 2 inches, then clanged. A hand slipped through the gap and fumbled at the bow chain. I walked over and said, Mom, stop. Take that ridiculous thing off, she said through the door. No, I said. Text me next time. I have movers in 2 hours. Silence, then 2 hours. Yes. A long breath. We need to talk about what you're taking. We promised someone. You promised someone my things, I said. That's on you. She pulled her hand back. The door clicked shut. I made coffee. I put 2 cups on the counter out of habit, then poured the second one back into the pot. Callie texted parking in 5. I brought pastries. No one touched them until I filmed them steaming. I laughed and texted back a string of dramatic eye rolls. While we waited for the truck, I opened the someday folder one more time. I slipped a copy of everything into a cloud drive and into a USB stick on my keychain. Old me organized for vague reasons, new me knew why. Noel called. I picked up. I was curious what script he'd use. Hey, he said too bright. We're coming by to pick up the crib. Tasha found the perfect spot in your second bedroom. There is no crib here, I said. And you're not coming by. You don't have to be like this. I do, I said, because you won't stop asking. He huffed. You've always been selfish. You think being good at spreadsheets makes you better than family. I think honoring my own limits keeps me human, I said. Bye, Noel. I hung up. I didn't shake. That surprised me. The truck arrived. Wesley lifted like a forklift with jokes. Callie turned, moving into choreography. We wrapped the sofa in blankets, taped the corners, tagged each box with neon notes. I took one last sweep of the rooms. Closets empty, drawers open, dust lines where furniture had lived small shadows of routine. I set the keys on the old table. I laid a card beside them. Not a speech, 2 words. Good luck. Before I left, I switched off the peephole camera and slid it into my backpack. I took one final photo of the empty space. Not for nostalgia, for record. We closed the door. The hall smelled like lemons. The elevator dinged. My chest did that strange light thing it hadn't done in years. We rode down in silence except for the squeak of dollies and the small laugh I couldn't hold in. In the new place, Ruth handed me a folder with the lease. Sign here and here. Welcome home. Home, a simple word, a long road. We unloaded. We put the bed together backwards once and then right. We ate pastries on the floor, no cameras, crumbs everywhere. Callie toasted me with a paper cup. To boundaries that stick. My phone stayed quiet until evening. Then it lit up like a pinball machine. Mom, Dad, Noel, even Tasha. I let the calls stack until the screen dimmed. The last voicemail from Mom was a mix of fury and fear. You took everything. We promised a furnished apartment. Bring it back or we'll call a lawyer. I called her back. You're welcome to call anyone, I said. Maybe also call someone about the taxes on 8 years of cash rent without a lease. Silence. You're not our daughter anymore, she said finally. The words were brittle. They snapped against my ear and fell. If that's how you feel, I said, take care. I hung up. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I sat on my own sofa in my own living room, under my own lamp. The city hummed outside like it always does. Inside, the quiet felt like truth. Tomorrow I'd set up the office. The day after, I'd hang the curtains. Then I'd go back to work and pretend to be normal while a family storm raged across town. But first, sleep. And when morning came, the first knock wasn't at my door. It was at my job. Mom found me there, tired and urgent, with a brand new argument that would try to reel me back. That's the moment the story stopped creeping and started sprinting. Mom found me on the sidewalk outside my office. She looked smaller in daylight. Tired. Determined. 5 minutes, she said, catching my sleeve. Please. I checked the time. I could spare 4. Okay, here. She lifted her chin like a flag. We'll walk back the rent. $1,800. But you'll return the furniture and share your address. No more secrets. There it was, an offer wrapped in control. No, I said. My things stay with me. My address stays private. Her eyes flashed. We promised a furnished unit. There's a deposit. We can be sued. Then refund it, I said. Or buy furniture like landlords do. Lena, this family has always shared. I kept my voice level. We shared. I paid 7 years, on time, without a lease. I let that hang. She shifted tactics. Your father isn't sleeping. Noel is anxious. Tasha's blood pressure. Mom, I said. Stop using health as rope. A beat. She tried sorrow. I don't know who you are anymore. I do, I said, and I'm going inside now. She stepped back, soft voice, hard words. You'll regret this. I already did, I said, and left her on the curb. Upstairs, Evan from our team passed me an extra coffee. I must have looked shaken. He set it on my desk. Your visitor. Want me to let security know next time? Please, I said. My hands steadied around the cup. It was such a small, ordinary kindness that it made my throat tight. At lunch, I sat with Mira again. I told her the morning in bullet points. She listened the way she does, head-tilted attention like a laser. Document today's encounter, she said. Short email, date, time, place, summary. BCC yourself. And if she appears again, tell the front desk to call me. HR can make sure your workplace stays your workplace. Validator right on cue. That evening, my phone lit up with a text from a number I hadn't saved. Danny here. Cousin, not the singer. Are you okay, Danny? Is the family bridge with a gossip streak that runs on jet fuel. She sent screenshots before I asked. A group thread. Mom, Dad, Noel, Tasha. 3 aunts, 2 cousins. Tasha had posted a crying selfie with a long caption, "Some people think money matters more than blood. Pray for us as we navigate this betrayal." Underneath, Mom wrote, "We sacrificed for Lena for years. We charged below market out of love. She owes us back rent now that she's stable." Noel added a muscle emoji, and she'll come around. I stared at the words, "owes us back rent," as if the discount they had invented retroactively turned into my debt. My pulse ticked. Then it slowed. I took a breath. Screenshots weren't knives, they were mirrors. "Thanks, Danny," I wrote. "Please don't argue with them in there." "Too late," she replied. I said, "This is messed up." Got muted. Also, Aunt Rosa told me a thing. Call me. We spoke. Rosa had told Danny that my parents had advanced Noel some of my rent over the years. Loans that never came back. "They figured you'd be fine," Danny said softly. "You're the capable one." I closed my eyes. Of course, the money I paid for a roof had been patching a boat with holes, not evil, just lazy. But the effect was the same. I became the net. Dad called after. I almost ignored it. Then I pictured the man who taught me to ride a bike jogging beside me until I found my balance. I picked up. Pumpkin, he said. His voice was paper thin. Can we talk without anyone else? We met at a park bench under a brittle tree. He held a thermos like a talisman. I'll be plain, he said. We're in a bind. I took a line of credit on the house. Noel's projects ate most of it. The plan was to raise your rent for a year, pay things down, then reset. He laughed without humor. Your mother thought you might buy the apartment if we pushed. He didn't look at me. I watched a child chase a pigeon and felt an odd clarity. You never planned for me, I said. You planned with me as a resource. He winced. We thought you're steady. You always land on your feet. That's not a plan, I said. That's an excuse. He rubbed his forehead. We also told Noel he and Tasha could have the apartment after the baby. It kept the peace. The sentence hit like cold water. Promise after promise built on my back. So when I asked to paint and Mom said yes, she already knew she'd ask me to leave. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The pigeon darted. The child squealed. Life went on in indifferent circles. I can't fix this, I said, standing. I won't be your solution anymore. He nodded, defeated. I'm sorry, he said. It wasn't enough. It was something. On my walk home, I stopped at a print shop and pulled property records. The apartment title, the taxes, names on deeds. I highlighted facts, not to fight but to stand on. At home, I slid the documents into the someday folder. It felt heavier. It felt like armor. Ruth emailed my copy of the lease. I read it twice. Clear clauses, clear expectations. A contract, the opposite of a family script. The next afternoon, Dad texted, your birth certificate is still in the safe. Come by at noon. I'll make sure the coast is clear. I needed it for a loan pre-approval. I'd started out of curiosity. Fine. Noon. Their driveway crunched under my shoes like always. The front door was unlocked. Lemon cleaner hung in the air. I stepped inside, heart thudding, calling out Dad. No answer. The house felt paused like a show frozen mid-scene. I moved toward the study. A stack of brand new diaper boxes lined the hallway. A ring light leaned against a chair. On the kitchen island sat a thick white binder, labeled in Tasha's looping script, Family Plan Q and Qt. I didn't intend to snoop, but it was open pages fanned like a dare. The top sheet was a budget grid. Names and columns, mine included. Projected income, Lena, $2,700 or more. A line below content arc, saving our family docu-series. Bullet points, Episode 1, Sister refuses to help, community responds. Episode 2, Baby shower, surprise funded by donations. Episode 3, moving day into our apartment furnished. A little hand-drawn heart dotted the I in family. My stomach turned. I flipped a page. A to-do list in Mom's handwriting. Ask Lena for new address. Call Sarah. Update lease listing to furnished. Pick up crib from storage. Talk to Father Ken about family unity sermon. In the margin, Tasha had written, need Lena on camera for closure. Try ambush at work if needed. I blinked hard. My fingers shook. There were printouts of my old Venmo payments to Mom. Circles around amounts, a sticky note. We undercharged for years. Fair to adjust. Across the island sat a roll of blue painter's tape labeled Lena's Borrow. Next to it, a list of my items. Couch, rug, fridge. It was like reading a shopping list for a robbery that would feel like a favor. I took photos. Every page. Every note. I didn't take the binder. I didn't touch the safe. I grabbed my birth certificate from the folder Dad had left on the chair and put it in my bag. On my way out, I nearly collided with Father Ken at the door. He smiled, surprised. Lena. Your mother told me you'd be here. Please don't let her use church to corner me, I said before I could soften it. His face changed. He studied me differently then. Understood, he said quietly. I'll call her about boundaries. Revealer, I thought, as I stepped past him. The universe has a sense of casting. Outside, my phone buzzed. Tasha again. We're going live tonight about family values. Hope you'll join to clear the air. I didn't reply. A second ping, Danny. They're planning a surprise reconciliation stream. Don't go near the house. At home, I laid the photos across my table. The binder pages told a truth with no shame. I was a character in someone else's show. A resource. A villain. A fit. Funny thing is, those little hints over the years suddenly made sense. The our apartment lines. The way they nodded at my purchases like a committee approving acquisitions. The casual, we'll see when I asked about a future. They had been breadcrumbing their plan while I was breadcrumbing my patience. I opened a new email to Mom, Dad, Noel, and Tasha. I wrote in short, clear lines, "Do not contact me at work again. Do not use my name, image, or likeness in any content. Remove any references to me from your planned docuseries. Any further false claims about back rent or furniture will be met with documentation sent to parties you've involved, prospective renters, sponsors, church. Communicate only by email for necessary items, e.g. legal mail. This is my final boundary." I attached a few photos, not all, enough. I hit send, then I turned my phone face down and breathed until the room stopped spinning. It was quiet for 1 hour, then chaos tried again. 3 missed calls, 2 texts from unknown numbers calling me cold, cruel, godless, a voicemail from Dad whispering, "I didn't know about the binder." Another from Mom, livid, "How dare you spy on us?" I didn't answer. I poured water. I opened the curtains. Light came in like an ally. Callie rang my bell with takeout, and that look that says, "Tell me everything and I'll help carry it." I told her. She swore eloquently. Then she said, "So what do you want to do?" Not, "What should you do?" Not, "Here's what I'd do. What do you want?" "I want to stop being cast," I said. "I want the script to burn." Then we set a stage of our own, she said. We picked the time and the rules. I nodded. The plan formed while noodles steamed. Simple, controlled, no spectacle. Next time we met, it wouldn't be in a driveway or a chat thread. It would be in a plain room with steady chairs and a recorder on the table. I'd bring the folder and the facts. I'd sit up straight. I wasn't going to set myself on fire to keep anyone warm. I booked a small room at the community center, white walls humming, vent 4 chairs. Water glass left folder, right recorder in the middle. Click, red light on. Callie waited in the lobby with earbuds and snacks. "Text if you want me in," she said. I nodded. My hands were steady. My chest wasn't. Mom arrived first, crisp blazer, tight mouth. Dad trailed behind. Noelle slipped in cap backward. Tasha came with a ring light bag. I held up a basket. "Phone's here, no filming." Tasha laughed. "You're not serious." "I am. Phone in the basket or wait outside." She looked at Noel. He shrugged. She huffed, dropped her phone, sat. The room shifted from show to meeting. I tapped the recorder. "This is for clarity." "We're family," Mom said, rolling her eyes. "Exactly. So we'll be clear." Silence. Vent hum. A kid laughed somewhere down the hall. "Rules," I said. "No shouting, 1 person at a time. If anyone films, I walk." Mom opened her folder. "Fine. Our term's $2,000 a month for a year and you return the furniture. After the baby, we revisit." "No," I said. "You haven't heard." "I have. In my living room. On your listing. In your binder." Dad blinked. "What binder?" "The one on your kitchen island." I slid photos across the table. Family plan, Q1, Q2. Docu-series outline. Budget. Ambush Lena at work. And a page called Lena's Borrow. "So you snooped," Noel said. "I came for my birth certificate. It was sitting out. You put me on your content calendar." Tasha reached for the photos. I covered them with my hand. "I have copies." "It's normal planning," she said. "People love a redemption arc." "I'm not your arc," I said. "I'm a person." Dad's ring clicked against the table, soft, steady. "We've been under pressure. It got away from us." I pushed a tabbed stack across the laminate receipts, transfers, texts with Mom approving my purchases. "These are mine. You confirmed it. There's no furnished lease. No back rent." "Stop saying there is." "Stop saying there." "Hold on. We gave you a family discount for years," Noel said. "That has value. And now you're calling it debt. You don't get to rewrite history." Mom exhaled through her nose. "You're cruel." "I'm clear." I slid one last sheet forward, the apartment listing with my sofa front and center. "This comes down today." Dad swallowed. "We'll change it." "Good. You won't use my name or photo? You won't claim I owe you money?" "If you do, I send this to the tenant, the church, the brands, the bank." "That's a threat," Tasha said. "It's a boundary, with consequences." Noel lifted his hands. "We're drowning. You have a good job. You don't get it." "I do," I said. "I built a life by doing hard things quietly." Mom's voice turned tender and sharp. "Honey, this baby needs a village. You're part of us." "I'm not the village firewood," I said. "Where did you learn to talk like that?" "In therapy." Dad cleared his throat. "We can't fix this without you." "You broke it using my name," I said. "I'm taking my name back." The red light blinked. Outside, the sky stayed blue. Tasha slid her phone from the basket and started typing under the table. "No," I said. She kept tapping. Noel hissed, "Tash." I stood. "We're done. Phone back in or I leave." She shoved it in. Happy now. Relieved. Silence did more damage than shouting. Dad stared past me. "I shouldn't have promised your apartment or opened that credit line. I thought it would resolve." "Don't start," Mom snapped. He met my eyes. "I'm sorry." "I hear you," I said, "and I'm still done." "If you walk, we'll tell everyone you stole," Noel said. I slid my phone toward him. "Say it on camera. I'll set it next to your binder." He sagged. I gathered the papers. "Here's the path listing comes down. Stop using my name. Don't show up at my job. From now on, email only for legal matters. Need vendors, I'll send a list. A budget template, I'll send that too. That's it. Mom stared like she could drag me back into my old role. We raised you. You fed me, you housed me, you taught me love is work. I learned. Now I choose where to put that work. Must be nice choosing, Tasha muttered. It is, I earned it. I clicked off the recorder. The tiny red heartbeat died. The air shifted. Dad nodded once, I'll take the listing down. We left. Fluorescence hummed. Ordinary kept going. Callie saw my face and opened her arms. No speech, just a hug. My phone buzzed. Ruth FSI. Someone asked if your place is furnished by family and if they could film in your living room. I said no. Need anything? Thanks, I wrote. Boundary noted. It's done, I told Callie. Done. Done. I went home and made it real on paper. P.O. Box. Credit freeze, mail forward, small moves, big air. Mira sent a legal clinic. They like documents, she texted. I had documents. At 3, a woman in a blue sweater read my someday folder like sheet music. Okay, she said. Cease and desist for likeness and harassment. Certified mail. Trespass notices for work and home. If they violate, we escalate. Criminal, I asked? Maybe. We try paper before handcuffs. Paper changes people. Paper changes me, I said. We built the packet screenshots, the listing with my couch binder pages, the ambush note, the back rent thread. My language stayed short. Do not contact me except by email for legal necessities. Do not film tag or reference me. Do not imply I owe you money. Do not appear at my home or job. Violations will be sent to sponsors, platforms, church, and authorities. We mailed 3 certified copies. Watching the green card stamp and slide away felt like warm water. Ruth taped a sign, no recording, no soliciting, no exceptions. Coffee tasted like progress. At 10:17, HR called complaints tagging my company, threatening an unborn child, defaming a small business, teasing a noon live stream on family bullying. Mira sat beside me with her compliance face. We have documentation, she told HR. I handed over the packet. Facts calmed the room. HR issued trespass notices, put me on privacy protocol, sent security the photos, if they showed up police. At 12:03, Danny texted, don't panic. They went live. It's not going how they planned. I opened the stream on mute. Pastel backdrop. Mama fuel mug. Title saving our family when blood turns cold. A sister who stole furniture owes back rent attacks our livelihood. Then Tasha waved the listing. My sofa. Neon tabs. The chat zoomed and froze. Isn't that her couch? You said furnished. Whose stuff is that? Why ambush her at work? Show receipts. I smiled and closed the laptop. Streams can eat themselves. Father Ken called at 12:26. They'd asked to broadcast from the church. He said no. Community isn't compliance, he said. I told your mother to apologize before she asked for donations. By 2, I emailed the brand. Tasha kept tagging ComDirect documents attached. The brand paused outreach. Security saved footage of Noel and a woman trying to film in our hallway. The clinic forwarded 3 signed green cards. Mom replied through the clinic, we will not contact Lena. Not an apology, a door, I'll take doors. Noel asked via Danny to meet alone. I texted back if he's sober, employed, and ready to apologize without asking for anything. Maybe, not now. I cleaned my quiet washed curtains, wiped baseboards, told my glossy leaf plant, you're safe here, silly for a plant, perfect for a person. Dad left a voicemail. I took the listing down. I'm selling the ring light. We'll figure it out. I'm sorry, no ask. Not everything, but something. 3 months taught me a different rhythm. Windows open. Coffee in a calm kitchen. No surprise knocks, no keys in my lock. Work shifted. Jonas put me on a product that mattered. We rebuilt a refill app for seniors. Mira led a brown bag on boundaries. Clarity is kindness to yourself, she said. Evan doodled tiny shields on the whiteboard. The paper held. HR's notices sat unused. Ruth taped quiet lives here by the elevator. Danny texted the update. I wanted the baby arrived on a rainy Thursday. A boy. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Photo cropped close, no adults. Relief and a wish for truth over content. Tasha pivoted to laundry piles. Fewer ambushes, no tags of my name. The ring light sold. Quiet can be grace. Noel got a night job at a warehouse, forklift certified. Better pay. He told Danny, tell Lena I'm working. He didn't ask for money. Dad fixed fences and porches for neighbors. Charged fair rates. Slept better. Emailed the clinic, we are complying. Mom sent 1 card to the P.O. box, a watercolor leaf. 3 lines, we're adjusting. I hope you are well. Mom, I filed it. Love doesn't need a performance. Absence can be a balm. On my birthday, we ate cake from the pan. Evan brought a balloon that said, you did it, period. Mira gave me a tiny binder labeled, not someday, today. That binder delivered pre-approval listings that smelled like pain and hope. Most were wrong. One wasn't a crooked row house with a pocket garden. Evening Light told the truth. I offered under asking. We signed. A plain key slid across the desk. We picnicked on the floor. Socks, low voices. Callie snapped a photo of me holding the key joy without an audience. 2 weeks later, I saw Noel on my block, tired a stroller beside him. Heard you bought a place, he said. I did. Looks solid. He rubbed his neck. I'm sorry about a lot. For using you, for letting them, for the binder, the listing, the texts. Thank you, I said. I hope you keep the job. For him. We won't put him on camera without consent, he said. Do you want to hold it? The old script tugged be the aunt saved the day. I breathed and chose new. Not today, I'll send a book. He nodded. Okay. He glanced at my bag. Pasta? Pasta, I said. Goodbye, Noel. Bye, Lena. I leaned against my door and listened to the house hum. Lemons on the counter, a window open, a worn love song drifting in. At my housewarming, no posts, no public. Father Ken brought basil and a short blessing about doors, not debt. We toasted with sparkling water. To paper that holds, I said. To work that matters. To people who knock. To rooms we fill on purpose. Mira added to saying no without a footnote. By the entry, I hung a small frame the note I once left on the old table. Good luck. Spell broken. Wish returned to sender. People ask if I forgave them. For me, forgiveness is unclenching quiet, not reunion. I don't wield the story for likes. I file it and keep the lesson. Do I miss them? I miss the version of us that never existed. I don't miss being the net. If it were you, steady job, family chaos? Your name and someone else's plans? Where would you draw the line? When does help become harm? What boundary do you wish you'd set sooner?